they have interfered with the sexuality of humans in California. A lot of homosexuals are there because of the ones under California. There's even a lot of gay marriages between these creatures and humans, as well as heterosexual marriages. There is a joint human reptilian base under there of entire families of people. And but they said that the reptilian overlordship plans on killing the reptilians under California because they have more or less stopped taking orders in the way that they were told to take them. And this agent said that the reptilians intend on invading the United States from Oregon, and that they plan on going south down through California and then heading east. And they said that their prime objective is to kill reptilians out of California. But based on my research, the reptilians' invasion would be from Zion up into the Olympics, and then from the Walmart stores, which I believe all Walmarts have a dungeon next to the underworld. And I think that they've actually built the Walmarts as fortresses or military barracks from which they will launch their troops from. The reason they want to do the Olympics thing is because when people see that on the Olympics, it's so worldwide televised, they'll get in their cars and back up the highways. You know, they'll rush off to get the kids from preschool or what have you. And this will cause all the highway systems to back up throughout the nation. And throughout the world. And then from that point on, all the Walmarts are strategically placed at intersections and junctions where these roads connect, allowing them to flank the cars, forcing the people to get out of their cars and run for their lives on foot. Well, what this will end up doing is creating a death trap. Also, if they try to fire artillery on the conjoined areas of intersection, they'll also hit friendlies. And don't ask me questions like that. That's very insulting. But I know you're an admin, but still, I get that shit all the time for people, and it's really fucking old. But then they fire artillery, but they can't because they're going to hit friendlies and so am I. They're going to hit friendlies and the lizard people. So that's the strategy of creating a bottleneck. They want to create a series of bottlenecks all over the highway system. And what's interesting is that I developed this theory. Well, you know what? It's based on a vision that I had 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I had a vision of reptilians invading on a highway, on an overpass, and there were cars backed up. People were getting out of the cars and running for their lives. And I saw people inside of a restaurant. They told me, "Don't say anything, and they won't bother you." They weren't moving. They weren't getting attacked because they were really calm and quiet. It's almost like they'd been forewarned. Whereas everybody else that was running outside was getting chopped down like weeds. Then I saw a Russian jet. Well, I'm kind of telling you a personal vision right now, if you listen. I saw a Russian jet painted the camo colors firing down bullets onto the highway and hitting both the lizard people, and some of the bullets were trailing off and hitting the humans running for their lives. It's one of the most realistic dreams I've ever had, by the way. I haven't forgotten a single detail in 5 years. And then I floated over through the area, through the sky, and I looked over and saw a big, huge chasm in the middle of the city. A huge hole in the middle of it. And it was smoky and fiery. The city was on fire. And then I go over to a stadium. It's either a baseball stadium or a football stadium. And the U.S. military was launching jets painted the colors of the American flag. Vertical thrusters, and then once they got to a certain point, they shot off super fast speed to go fight. But the word that popped in my head when I saw this was futile, pointless, futile. Basically pointless. But you try doing that.
Yo, have you been doing acid all night, man?
No, I don't take drugs. And this vision that I had 5 years ago, I correlated to the Olympics and the finding of Zion and the symbol for the 2012 Olympics, and the fact that the underground city on the Matrix 2 was named
I was
Zion.
at the 2010 ones. They were pretty sick.
And, yeah, right. So, and once I had developed theory and realized, that the 33 number was crucial to the connectivity of those, and the guy that established the Walmart stores is named Sam Walton. Sam is 19 plus 1 plus 13, which is 33. So there was a Masonic verification right there. That's also where they had Sam I am, would you like green eggs and ham? The green eggs, of course, being the reptilian eggs, which the Jews and their associates have helped to grow and ensure the productivity of. Ham, of course, is associated with the Ham family that settled in North Africa, one of the Jewish families in the Bible. Also the hams, the pig DNA, one of the many animal genetics that was infused into the human genome. Pigs are considered to be one of the smartest animals. In fact, I believe that the Germans have part pig DNA. That's why they're perhaps so mathematically sound. Or German scientists were in high demand back in the days of World War II. But
excuse me, I want to say something. Do you know about the underground tunnels in Las Vegas?
Oh, you mean the ones that connect to the hotels, like the Brown Hotel?
I guess so. There's a lot of homeless people that live in the underground tunnels in Las Vegas. I wonder what you would think about that.
Well, it's kind of like the mole people of New York. I don't really have any opinion on that, to be honest with you. I haven't really been able to connect it to my theories because I saw a documentary on the mole people. I just use New York as an example. And I just couldn't find any material that supported my perspective, so I just discarded it. But I'm sure there's probably some stuff there that is very useful, like eyewitness testimonies of people down there, perhaps. I mean, I'm sure there's got to be something. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Someone told me about the hotel, the Brown Hotel, that had underground pathways which were rumored to be for escapee purposes of political and security forces in case of emergency. But
well, I was just wondering if you thought that the lizard people live down below Las Vegas.
Well, I was actually told that there is a colony of 300 that actually live on the surface in a camp in Arizona. And one of the reasons I believe that is because I had heard of a story of a pastor who had been a pastor for about 30 years. He was very high up in the pastoral staff. He actually was one of the board members of one of the district regional Christian coalitions. His father was in the FBI and he was also a ranger and would ride up and down the panhandle, the longest fenced-in area of the panhandle in the United States, longest fence that borders Mexico or something like that, one of the regions associated with there. And he said that his father was abducted in front of about 20 people when they were having a picnic for his birthday. His sister was abducted endlessly. In fact, when he had a book signing at Steven Spielberg's book convention for the 4400 show, he said that there were a bunch of people who came forward to be part of the people who were the lucky volunteers. A lucky person would be selected that would have, of the many people who claimed to have had an alien experience, one of them would be selected to have a private meeting with Steven Spielberg. His sister had been visiting there just to support him in his book signing, and she totally avoided the invitation But they came over to her, the two military people came over to her, even though she didn't even go near where the crowd of people were. They came to her and said, we found that you were the only person who actually had the most legitimate experience with aliens. Would you like to come, please come with us, you can meet Steven Spielberg. And so she did. She said that, and then she relayed this information to her brother who was there for the book signing, and she said, that Steven Spielberg showed her equipment that had been left behind